Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and welcome to our last video of the month of September.
Yeah.
Now some of you may remember that we started this month by filming a video at our friend Justin and Lacey's house.
Yes, we did.
Because September is National Self-Improvement Month, something that we had never heard of.
Correct.
But we thought this might be a fun thing to participate in. So at the beginning of the month, we put out a video, I will link it in the video description down below, where we set some self-improvement goals for Sherri and I for the month.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about how we did in those goals. Some of them, to be fair, some of them we did really good on.
Yeah.
Some of them we didn't do as good on. We're gonna talk.
Not as good.
We're gonna talk all about it in today's video.
We try to be pretty good about setting long-term and short-term goals for ourselves, but also giving ourselves grace when life happens.
I think sometimes you can judge the success of a goal on just like pass fail,
Right.
and I don't think that's always fair. And so you end up beating yourself up, and we're going to talk about that as we go through the different areas that we set for ourselves.
Yeah.
And there really were kind of three of them.
Yep.
The first one had to do with like positivity.
Yes.
Right? We talked about how the world is just an increasingly negative place lately. We felt ourselves getting sucked into that, and so we both had things we were going to do to hopefully improve ourselves in the area of positivity. We'll talk about that.
Yep.
The next one was about physical health.
Yes.
We had two things we were going to focus on for that. Number one was keto.
Yep.
Number two was yoga.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about that. And then the last one was creativity. We
Yes.
each had something that we were going to focus on this month in the area of creativity. And these were the things we were going to do to try to better ourselves. I think I said to become a better pair of legs. What a good term. I love that term.
Oh boy.
This month. So Sherri, let's start with positivity.
Yes, let's.
Because the world has not gotten all of a sudden super positive in the month of September.
Correct.
And so your thing you were going to try to do to focus more on positivity this month was?
I was going to be keeping track of like every day of things that I'm thankful for.
Because you talked about how, and you've talked about this a lot, how you're naturally more of a cynical person and can like live there.
Kind of dwell in the negative more.
And so you wanted something that you were that caused you to intentionally look for the good and the positive.
Yes, and so in the video I talked about how excited I was to keep track of this throughout the month and to have 30 at minimum, hopefully more than 30 of this list of things that I'm thankful for.
Yeah, so you're going to end the month of September with this huge list of things you're thankful for, and you're going to be like, wow, look at this. And that's exactly what you did. Sherri, Sherri, how many days did you do it?
This is the note that I started.
If they can't see it, how many did you do?
2.
2 days.
2 days.
Okay. So
2 days. And here's the thing. I fought for those 2 days too. Like
you
I was
really
like,
did.
Please help me.
So
it's just not how my brain works. And it's not that I'm not thankful for things. It's that I have a hard time pulling those things out.
you are. So I think on night 2, we had a long discussion
Yes.
about how this is so hard for you because you tend to be an overthinker. And so you're just like,
Yes.
and so when you think about things you're thankful for, you feel like they have to be the right things.
Well, or that I feel like I'm just listing 87 things of the same things. Like,
Every day.
I'm always thankful for Adam. I'm always thankful for my job. I'm always thankful for, you know, like, there's things that I'm always thankful for, and I'm like, do I have to list all of these? Because, ugh. And he's like, no.
Yeah, God forbid you'd be thankful for me every day.
No, but like listing it every
I'm
day.
joking.
And so like, because I'm just such a chronic overthinker.
Yes.
And so honestly, we had that big discussion and I was like, okay, I'm just not going to overthink it. It's going to be great. And honestly, I think that it was like September 18th or 19th. So well over 2 weeks later that I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh, I totally didn't even do one more day.
Not even one more day.
Not even one more day.
Nope.
And at that point I was like, whatever.
Why start now? Which is a horrible goal thing. You should have started.
I didn't though.
No, you for sure didn't.
However.
But we're going to talk about this. Because
We're going to talk about this.
Yep.
So I didn't keep track of the things that I was thankful for.
Nope.
But I do feel like I tried really hard this month to not dwell in negativity, which is kind of where my brain wants to go. Like I can find things to be irritated at all day long. It's
Yeah,
harder
true.
for me to find the thankful things, which is something I'm working on. But I think that, and really in light of this month, like this was kind of a rough month, and I feel like I had a lot of negativity thrown at me.
Yep, you did.
But I didn't let myself dwell there, and so I cried a lot. But then I just wouldn't like let myself sit in that, and I was just like, you know what? Today I am not going to think about that at all. Like that is not where this lives today.
Yeah, and so in some
I
ways,
tried really hard to just like not let myself stay there.
So in some ways, like when we're thinking about positivity, you might not have succeeded in the way you thought you were going to, what your task was.
Right.
But like you definitely, because this month should have been, honestly, a super negative month for you.
If there was any month for me to just like hide in a cave, this would have been it.
This would have been it.
And I just didn't let it stay there.
Yeah. So like.
And so I'm actually going to ask you.
Yeah.
Because I can think one way about myself all day long.
Yeah.
But how do you think I did with that?
Oh, you were super negative. No, I'm just joking. Curveball. No, honestly, you did really good. And there's a couple, here's why I think you're doing so good. Because I've heard you tell multiple people this month about this. And I know, so that tells me that I know you're thinking about this a lot.
Yeah.
Which is like this 5-minute rule.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about this on our channel before. When Sherri was going through a lot of her health stuff, her doctor started talking to her about like stress and anxiety and just other things that she was dealing with.
And asking me how my stress and anxiety is.
Yep.
Because of the impact that those things have on my physical health.
Yeah, basically saying like those things are impacting your physical health. And so what her doctor said was like, here's this 5-minute rule. Basically, when something comes up that causes you like anger or stress or anxiety, you get 5 minutes.
5 minutes to dwell on that, and then you're done.
Dwell on it, rage on it, throw a plate against the frickin' wall.
I think she even said that.
She did say that. Like whatever you need to do in those 5 minutes to absolutely let it out, do it.
And then move on.
Because you are impacting your physical health by dwelling on this stuff mentally.
Yeah.
And so now here's the reality is that it can't always be 5 minutes.
And it wasn't always 5 minutes.
Nope.
There were a few times that it was a few hours.
Yep.
But just kind of having that in the back of my mind and like not letting myself stay there. And even on days like our anniversary where I was just like, you know what? Today could be a really bad day.
Yep.
Like negativity wise, but I'm not going to let it because it is our anniversary and dang it, we're going to have fun.
Yep.
And so it was just like, I'm just not even going to think about it. I'm not letting myself think about anything that's negative right now.
Yeah, 100%. So I would say that what I saw was real improvement in that area this month.
Good.
I do think...
Even though I didn't keep track.
Even though you didn't keep track. But here's what I will say. I do think that goal of keeping a list would still be very helpful for you.
Probably, yes.
Because I think that for you, and you and I have talked a lot about this, because you don't naturally see or look for the good things or the positive or the encouraging things, I think it's helpful to start to train your brain to do that.
I agree.
And so I think it's still a good, I think it's a good habit to like learn. Yeah.
I think so. I think it for me, it's also, it's a little bit of a catch-22, I think, because I think that it's something that would be good for me to make myself do every day.
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's one more thing I have to do every day.
Yeah.
And so it's just a task. It's a chore that I don't want to have to add to my plate.
It's so funny because like we look at things so differently because I'm just like, I get to do this. Like I get to go through my day looking for things that are awesome. Yes, sign me up. Let's do it. All right, let's move on to me. So my positivity thing for this month was that I most times start my day in bad news. And what I mean is that before I'm out of bed, I pick up my phone and I'm spending time on social media, which is just a toxic cesspool of poop and terrible opinions.
You call it a cesspool?
I meant to say cesspool and the T slipped in there.
I was like...
It's a cesspool. Cesspool.
Okay.
I apologize. I was hoping nobody caught that, and of course you did. Right now, people in the comments are like, moron. And so I start my day focused on all that is wrong and all that is negative and the latest COVID highlights and the missing person and what is the latest trafficking news because of the work I do and just, right, like all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So like I haven't gotten out of bed and I'm depressed.
Right, the day's already just like gone to crap because it's
because that's where I started. And so what I was going to try to do for myself was, before I get out of bed, the first thing I wanted to focus on was something positive, like good news before bad news. That's kind of my mantra. Good news before bad news. I would say that I would give myself a passing grade. I'd give myself like a C+ or a B- this month.
You did say that you changed like your home screen, like,
Yeah,
that news kind of page.
Yep.
To specifically give you good news first thing in the morning.
Yeah, so I don't know what you guys look at when you first like look, but my thing I look at is on my iPhone, that like news, I can't get there now of course, that like that main page that has, you know, like weather and mail and, you know, news and that kind of stuff. And so what it had before was, you know, weather, mail, news, top news, which is never good. It's always negative. And so that's what I would like look at first, and be like, oh, what are the latest headlines? And so I actually changed the order of things that I saw them. So the first thing I see is like a Bible verse of the day. So it's like the first thing that I see. And then like change that from bad news to like good news. What are like inspiring stories that I can look at? Yeah. And so I did make that change. So I would say most mornings, that's the first thing I see, which has been great. Yeah. I think. Do you
feel like it's changed your outlook on the day?
I feel like it has changed my outlook on the day. What I was just going to say is that I feel like I need to be more intentional about dipping into the reality of bad news, because some of that is just like, it's what it means to live in the world today, but not dwelling there. Kind of what you said with like cynicism and negativity and all that. Like, it's okay to dip into that, but I can't spend all day there. Right. And so I found myself in some ways like taking this really refreshing drink of water first thing in the morning with all these good news and verses, and just like, I feel good in the morning, and then like instantly bad. You know?
Check. Got the good news out of the way.
Totally. This is also harder for me because I sleep so horribly and I have such weird hours that sometimes, like, if I can't sleep because of dreams or because of other different things, it's hard for me to be in a good mood when I wake up. And so what I'm having to do, and I actually was thinking about this a few days ago, was that even if my day didn't start positively the way I wanted it to not be like, well, I'll start again tomorrow. No, start right now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, start right now. Like, give myself that mental break in the middle of the day or at 8 p.m. if I have to. Like, when I think about it, dip into what is good. And so I would say I did good. And I'm not, now that the month is over, I'm going to keep my home screen that way because I really like it. Yeah. I like that what I see is positive. Good. So that's how we did with that stuff. Now let's get into the physical stuff. Yeah. And those were really focused on two areas, our keto journey and yoga. Let's start with the biggest fail of the entire month. Let's talk about yoga. How did we do?
I'm actually really bummed about this because
this is the one I'm the most bummed about.
I do really enjoy yoga, and it really does like center me, and like it helps my anxiety throughout the day if I start my day with yoga. And I'm gonna be honest, I did yoga this morning. Yep. And that was the first time.
All month.
All month. Yeah, and you didn't do any at all.
I didn't do it at all. Nope, I didn't do it at all. I'm so bummed about this.
I'm bummed about that too, and it was nice to start my day this morning with it, and I wish that I had been, but I would like to continue.
I was proud of you this morning, because today was a really stressful, like, long day for you, and so I was proud of you for getting up extra early when you already had to get up early and start your day with yoga. Yeah.
I mean, it was yoga, like, specifically having to do with anxiety, because I knew today was going to be a really anxious day for me. Yep.
But you did it.
But I did it.
So yoga is one of those things that we completely failed this month. 100% fail. We didn't do great. We didn't do.
99% fail.
99% fail. And so, but it is something that we both want to add. Yes. So I would say we're not giving up on yoga. We still both really think that that is an important thing for us to add to our physical lives. Now on to keto, an area of physical that I actually feel like we've done pretty good.
I'm going to give us an 85%.
I think that's fair. I'm so proud of us.
Yes, we didn't stick with it 100%.
Nope.
But we kind of knew we wouldn't, like with our anniversary and stuff.
And I traveled, which is difficult.
And you traveled, which was hard. So it was just really hard to like stick to it 100%. But I feel like we did really good.
I think so too. I think we did really good. I'm really proud of us for how we're doing on keto. We're trying new recipes. Yeah. I feel like we are both feeling better.
I think so, yeah.
You are, we haven't talked about this, you were to weight that you haven't been in a long time.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes, I was 3 pounds away from my lowest weight a few years ago when 6-7 years ago.
We went on like this crazy weight loss thing.
When we really just lost a lot of weight. So I was 3 pounds away from my lowest from then.
Which is awesome.
Which was great.
Yeah, so like progress is being made.
Right, and then our anniversary fell in there and it kind of went back up. But it's gonna happen.
Yeah, totally. Happen. So for us, I think keto's been great. But I think that more than just, we've been doing really good. One of the things that I have been proud of us for is that we've given ourselves grace for like life to happen.
Right.
Right? And so like on an anniversary, we don't beat ourselves up. There were a couple times that we had like just like honestly really crappy days.
Yeah.
And you know what we needed? I needed something that was comforting and it wasn't keto, and also neither of us wanted. The last thing we wanted to do was cook something. We wanted to go get a frickin' pizza.
Right.
And so you know what we did?
We went and got a pizza.
We went and got a pizza.
Right, and I think that there's those kinds of days where you just have to give yourself grace because there were a few really rough days this month. And again, the last thing I wanted to do was cook something healthy. I was just like, screw that. Like, I just need some carbs. Like, give me some pizza.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did.
And I love that. I feel like we're finding a routine and a life rhythm when it comes to keto that is sustainable long term.
Yeah.
Which is really great. We're discovering lots of new recipes. We're liking what we're eating. So I don't know. I think we're
giving ourselves grace when we just need a pizza, or when it's our anniversary and we want to go out to a dinner that's not going to be keto,
or when we want a Disney cruise next month, and literally the one word I don't plan on adhering to is keto.
Correct.
No way.
It's going to be a full week of not keto.
I'll
be real clear about that.
I might only eat carbs that week.
nothing but
carbs.
Don't give me one single piece of meat.
Nope.
Vegetable. Just
bring me baskets of bread. And so physical, yoga fail, keto success, onto the last area, which was like creativity. And so for creativity for you, you said you wanted to focus on Etsy. And what that meant, I remember what you said, was not an Etsy launch.
Right.
You wanted to just like start the process of even
getting back into it.
Totally.
Which I did.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get as much done as I was hoping. But I did do some, and I really enjoyed what I had time to do.
Yeah.
But this has also just been a really busy month.
Yeah, this month ended up being, I'll just say, worse than we expected going into it.
Yes.
Just ended up being much worse. And so, yeah, so that's just the reality. Yet still in that, like there's Etsy stuff that is out now, and the Cricut has been working, and you're getting stuff done, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'd say that you did great this month.
I'm going to give myself a check mark.
A check mark.
Gold star.
Mine, if you remember.
Maybe a silver star.
A silver star? I think a silver star is fair. My creativity was like, I wanted to do film photography.
Yeah. I
wanted to pick up my film camera and just get out, and it's such a beautiful time of the year in Alaska, and just like take some photos, make some images.
Yeah.
And I actually got to do that on a couple occasions this month.
Yeah.
I went out and I took some photography, some photos, or I made some photos around here, which was just spectacular and beautiful and just really like therapeutic for myself. One of them, I got to go on this little hike up by this waterfall that I hadn't been to before, and it was stunning. But the next one was really the one that I loved, and I took my camera with me to North Carolina. Yeah. On my work trip.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of this retreat I was speaking at was all about rest and relaxation and renewal, and we actually had one day built into the retreat that was basically just like a rest day, a Sabbath day. Yeah. And the whole goal, what we challenged people to do, was like, fill this day with things that make you feel alive.
Yeah.
And so I got to take my camera, and I got to go around like North Carolina, like the area of the retreat center we were, and just take a whole bunch of photos.
Yeah.
And I love it. And what I love about it, I think I talked about this in the last video, is that I don't know how I did. They're still on.
They're still in the
film is still in the camera. I still have some more photos to take before I can even send it off and get it developed.
Right.
But to me, it's not about what the final product is. It's not about how good I did. It was about making something.
It was just about doing it.
Oh, I loved that. So for me, give myself a silver star. I'd give myself a gold star.
I'd give you a gold star because that was really your goal, was to get out and do your film photography.
Yeah. I did it.
And I mean, I'm going to give myself a little bit of grace too. Like, this was a really weird month.
Yep.
And the fact that I was able to get out my Cricut and get stuff cut out and get stuff like done.
Are we changing silver star to gold star?
Maybe.
Give me 5.
Like, that
You
was
deserve
my
that
goal,
gold
was
star.
just to get it back out and just start the process.
And you did it.
And I did.
So you guys, that's how we did this month. And honestly, this is kind of what life looks like sometimes.
Right.
There are areas that it's like, you know what, gold star, I did really good, I'm really proud of myself. And then there's other areas that it's like, you know what, I sucked. Genuinely horrible.
I did yoga one time, and it was this morning.
One time.
At 6 o'clock this morning.
You had 2 days where you were like, where you wrote down anything positive that happened. But it's okay, because we made progress in so many other areas. And there's this term that we've been using a lot, like at my work in the church, and it's about like this 5% difference, right? Sometimes when you're trying to make yourself better, sometimes when you're trying to like make change, you go gung-ho, and what happens is you end up like burning yourself out because you kill yourself for these huge changes.
180-degree change.
Completely, no. 5% change.
Right.
What's 5% going to look like this week or this month? And for us, I think that we made that in all areas.
Yeah.
I love it. So, self-improvement month, for me, I felt like was a success.
Go team.
Are you glad we did it?
Yes, and I'm glad that it even just made us think about it.
I think that improving yourself is one of those things that will never happen without intentionality.
Right.
You very rarely stumble into making yourself a better person. You normally have to be intentional about putting processes in place and creating the margin in your life to do that. And so this month, no matter how we did, success or not in all these areas, we were intentional about improving ourselves.
Right.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
So friends, want to know down below. I know some of you guys shared with us on the first video some things you were going to try to do this month. Let us know how you did. Let us know how you think we did. Are you guys just like, fail? If you are, don't leave a comment. Maybe unsubscribe. Go find another channel. But if you want to encourage us, that would be dope, because that's what this community exists for. Friends, we love you guys so much. We'll see you on the next LeggLife video.